Hi everybody. It is Thursday, the 31st of August, 2023. The Tuesday I was kind of like in outer space. I mean, messing up the dates. I sorry I wasn't there for the chat log, but I'll get to that in a moment. Let me get through with the legalities. I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient psychic, so everything is for entertainment purposes only. The full disclaimer is down in the box. Also, the link to go visit Mystical Fortunes and the link for my Buy Me a Cream Soda, Buy Me a Coffee is in there also. So, okay, I I'm open. I live with RSD, reflex sympathetic dystrophy. Well, the initial doctor that actually basically figured out what happened to me with that accident in July of 2014. He is actually one of the top podiatrists in the nation. Well, he's retiring. So he's kind of like, we're going to have to find somebody new for you, somebody younger. And so I got the recommendation for this one doctor and had it set up. And I was supposed to see her at the first week of August. Well, they called and canceled. And the next available appointment was Tuesday afternoon at 3:30. So I went in, they did x-rays and everything and looked at stuff, and she's like, oh my gosh. And then she goes, well, who was your other doctor for this specialty? And I told her, and her jaw just dropped. She's like, oh my gosh, you're one of his. She goes, I know who he is. I trained under him. So I'm like, okay, I'll let him know. And she saw who the rest of my doctors are, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're seeing the top of the tops. I go, yeah, I'm doing really well. Yeah, I have RSD. And I'm getting messages a lot because people are like, well, I'm taking on this program and that program, and I'm still yada da yada da da. I'm feeling horrible. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm on a protocol that the Food and Drug Administration doesn't like. I admit it. So if you've got RSD, you have issues, I'm going to be honest, everything that goes into the coffee fund, that's going to be used to set up the tax-exempt foundation for RSD awareness that needs to be happening. And I already did the title search and found out the name that I've chosen nobody else is using. Right now, a lot of people know about Race for the Cure. That has the main branch is in the UK, and another girl runs it in the western section of the United States. But hey, I'm doing really well. And my doctor's protocol, they're like, yeah, this is really working. And I've even done some stuff with Stanford Medical School, and they're like, your doctor came up with a protocol that's like not this but this. I said, try it on somebody, see how they do. And now I'm getting the calls back saying, yeah, what he came up with is actually working for patients. So yeah, go and talk. So I've had to relay their contact information a couple times. But yeah, let's get down to what we normally do. I did our favorite Swede this morning. He did talk about purebloods. And in many countries now, they are not accepting blood donations from people who have had the whatchamacallit, because what was in that whatchamacallit is staying in people's systems. It's like basically, I'm going to use this as an example. Like, let's say they just shot your body full of hepatitis. People with hepatitis can't donate blood. So people with the whatchamacallit can't have a long-term stuff that's staying in their body. They can't donate blood because then they'll pass what they've got in their body onto others. So people who are unjabberdude, they're going to start looking for those of us because they want our blood. Our blood is going to become a premium commodity. So please, please, if you haven't had the whatchamacallit, be very careful. Do not go to any of these blood banks because they will track you. And if things get bad to worse, because you are unjabberdude, they may try to put you in an isolation environment so they can milk you like a cow. That's what I'm getting. So it's because I have medications in my system I can't donate. But people who are pure blood, it's kind of like that movie Omega Man. So we have to start being careful because they're going to start wanting to look for us. Now, yeah, I did see the news. I know down in Joburg, there was a big massive fire in a building, kind of like the Greville building in London. You know, the one that Rachel made the big to-do out of because they had the cookbook and all that nonsense. Well, yeah. It seems that all over Joburg, there's a lot of kind of abandoned buildings. And they've been taken over by low-income homeless people because there's no place else to live. Well, right now, I guess the count is up to 75. But they don't know how many people were actually living in that really rotten conditions. And now it's even coming out in the UK, people are having a fit because landlords aren't taking care of the buildings that are leased out to like what they call a council flat. Well, a couple seasons ago, the TV show Call the Midwife created the storyline about the poor conditions of council flat apartments. And if anyone's watched the series, you know how it ended up last season. Yeah, Trixie finally got married. But yeah, so now they're coming back again and saying that so many people are in horrible rented conditions that it's hard for people to find an apartment or a townhouse, what we call a townhouse, they call a row house. An apartment is a flat. Someplace safe to live that isn't rodent infested or mold infested. But the stupid government then tosses these dingy divers into 5-star hotels. Who comes first? So it's a big stink. And I know even here in the United States, especially outside of the city of Chicago, to find an apartment that's not in Cook County, the rent's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, we're going to see what happens. Now, the Big Red Sea has put out a new map. The new map includes, basically, I call it their wish list map. Now, I've been saying they want to expand. Yes, it includes parts of India. It includes Taiwan. And it includes several of the island nations that are like in the Pacific going down. If you see a copy of this map, that's what they're teaching their people because they basically have a news blackout in the Big Red Sea. They're shutting it off just like how it was prior to Nixon's visit. But yeah, the Big Red Sea is, it's basically showing their game plan of what they plan on doing, where they plan on invading. And people don't realize that we have to be aware of this. And what's really horrible is that the under 30s are glued to their cell phones and TikTok. Now, a couple weeks back, I did go off on this stupid little kid, little 20-something girl. Oh, I'm a TikTok influencer and I have over 1 million views. I go, sweetie, you're getting a check from the communist government. You're a good little peon of the Red Chinese, of the Big Red Sea. Yeah. The Big Red Sea is basically brainwashing teenagers, young adults, all across the United States by their social media platform, and they're also tracking them. They're paying them to turn into good little communists. So parents, if your kid's under 18, you block TikTok off their phone. Totally. And their computers, their iPad, their laptops, their PCs, their gaming computers. You totally block that platform. Because TikTok is a danger. It's a way for the communists to brainwash your children. Remember, back in 1930s Germany, and when in Stalin's Russia, the children were casually asked questions. Oh, what do your parents do at home? Does your mom turn on the radio and then put her ear to the speaker? If children said yes, those parents would then be arrested and the children would be then put in orphanages. That's what's happening. We've got to wake up. And what is it? The Australian Broadcasting System or Corporation? They did a mini doc on comparing current society to 1930s Nazi Germany. Now, I've been spouting this since Enza flew in the window back in 19 and all through 2020. It's like, no, not happening. Yeah, I've been screaming bloody murder about this stuff for the past 4 years now. And a lot of people just don't get it. They're just not getting it. And so it's, yeah, get rid of the TikTok. Get rid of the communist Chinese influence on your children. And a lot of young parents need to stop it also. I mean, even, who's that psychiatrist or psychologist? What is it? Jordan Peterson? They're trying to tell him he needs to be re-educated into the left-wing thinking of the social media. Because he's talking about how bad the social influence is on the kids. It's like, oh, we have to teach kids as soon as they get into preschool or pre-K, oh, that they can, what trans is, what a tranny is. They're starting to teach children that they don't have to pay attention to their parents. Well, right now we've got so many entitled parents out there that it's hitting the national news in the UK that certain airlines are now having to they're publicizing that they're now going to have child-free flights. it's not so much the kids. It's the fact that these parents are the entitled monsters. I mean, these are the ones that got participation awards just to show up for practice. I would say 35 and under. Oh my God, those 40 and under parents are the most entitled, and they're raising monsters. Literally raising monsters. And when I have to go into my area and I see these monsters, I call these little brats out. I'm not afraid. Go ahead. I don't have the short rooster haircut that they usually call people by. I'm like, I'm not afraid to tell an adolescent, get off your bicycle and walk it. I'm not afraid to tell a little girl who's dressed in black from head to toe with only her eyes. I tell her, take those off and assimilate into American society. I'm offended by your display of you're forcing your religion in my face, which I find offensive. I tell these kids that. I go, you live in the United States, you don't have to wear that. If you don't like how your parents are treating you, go tell your school, your teacher. Teachers are bound by law that if a kid is saying, hey, this is what's happening to me at home, they have to report it. And all these teachers that see these little girls coming in scarfed from head to toe, start asking the kids gentle questions. Because people who are like that, quite often, as soon as those little girls start getting a monthly cycle, they're married off. They don't record it in public record. But they are, according to their faith, married off. They could be being, that's a good word, invaded nightly by a older male. Yeah, it's called child protection. School bus drivers, teachers are bound by federal law to report any suspicious stuff when it comes to a kid. Exactly. Now, talking about whack things being looked over. Yeah, I saw on the news that I guess in southeast London, all the little spy cams, eyes in the sky, that are supposed to be reporting which cars are who to ding for, 12 pounds a day if they drive. I mean, okay, yeah, we've got what we call red light cameras here in the States and speed cameras. I mean, what they'll do is they will, if you go in front of a park on a major thoroughfare in the city, you'll go from 35 miles an hour down to 20. And if you aren't at 20 miles an hour as soon as that traffic sign is, if there is a traffic sign, you're given a ticket that you don't even know about. And what's funny is that where they clock your car at is, according to Illinois state statute, you have 500 feet to adjust your speed. Well, I went out and measured, and where they issued me a ticket at was at the 200 feet mark. And I took the Illinois statute in and the measurements in to the court. And the judge looked at me, he goes, you actually read? I go, yeah, I found the statute. And where you have that speed camera at, and where you clocked me at, 200 feet. I still had 300 feet to adjust my speed. City of Chicago. That judge, he looked at me, he goes, pay the court fees and get out of here. Yeah. Oh. Now, I am still keeping my eyes on what's going on in Niger. But it's funny. A news article just popped out again. And this traces back to the Big Red Sea. You see, in Nigeria, there was this faux company that came in to do business in the country of Nigeria, Scam Artist Central. Well, they found out that this phony corporation was actually mining and removing titanium out of Nigeria. Yeah, the Big Red Sea is going all over the place. They want to take control of the entire continent, to strip it of its natural resources, send all these natural resources back to China, so they have a stranglehold on manufacturing computer stuff and all these minerals like titanium and uranium are needed. So yes, you really need to keep your eyes open as to what is truly happening. And that is why, yeah, the country of Niger booted out the EU Big Red Sea interference of the country. Well, now the country that was like giving Niger grief and like shutting off their electricity, Nigeria, they're finding out, gee, same shit's happening here. Yeah, now for the heart of the matter. Oh gosh. People, Jojo, of course, is all over the news. Okay, we know that Hurricane Idalia went through the Gulf Coast and went up through the southeast United States. Well, we all know that Florida is run by Ronnie D. Well, Ronnie D made sure that he had the National Guard and all the stuff on standby, ready to go for soon as the storm passed, they came in. Well, Jojo makes a big deal out of, oh, we're going to have FEMA there ready, yada da yada da yada da. Well, it's kind of funny. Florida is basically an elephant state. So Jojo is making sure that he puts on a good show. Donkey Joe puts on a good show in the elephant states. But two states that were always primarily donkeys, like Hawaii and Ohio, nothing. I mean, he still hasn't gone to check out the site of that train derailment, that with all that humongous chemical spill that went into the groundwater. What's happening there? We're not hearing much, and even Pete Butthead was too busy with parental leave. And of course, Jojo was on vacation during Maui. What did he do? Fly over for 4 hours? Yeah, he's going to give people $700? I'm like, okay, that's his whacked rate of inflation, because remember January 20, right after he was sworn into office in January of 2021, that's when everybody got their $600. Yeah, I mean, it's like an extra relief check. Basically, he made it happen right after he got elected. People got paid. Their vote was worth $600. And because Illinois is a blue state, we seem to get our money we got that money deposited first. All the blue states got their $600 first, and the red states got theirs last. I told my neighbor, she goes, yeah, I voted for Joe. I'm like, oh, so you sold your vote for $600. She didn't understand what I was saying. We've got to wake up the people. We're falling under the same, too many people are falling under what I call the Adolf spell. We have to start making people angry so they pay attention. Yeah, I go on social media. I rock the boat. I have to. It's weird because it's like now it's coming out that Jojo's people are causing static because people are starting to really, really investigate what Hunter has been doing and the bank records. It's been going on since, Bean Brain was in office. And so Bean Brain made sure to put John Kerry in as a consolation prize. Well, John Kerry, the reason why he can get away with doing all the crap he's doing is because of his wife. Now, we've been able to basically take down Netflix. We took down AB InBev, the Belgian company that hired a stupid woke idiot that hired Dylan Mulvaney. We trashed AB InBev big time. Well, John Kerry, his wife, Teresa Heinz Kerry. Yeah, Heinz food, Heinz ketchup, pickles, pork and beans. Heinz, the Heinz fortune. The food for Heinz Foods. That's what is supporting John Kerry. So we need to start boycotting all those food products. Leave them on the shelves. Tell your friends. Until John Kerry decides to go back into the hole he crawled out of, get out of politics, and admit and apologize for his appalling behavior. We should stop worldwide. Stop buying anything Heinz. I know I don't. I mean, back in the early 2000s when the Swift boat nonsense came out, I mean, my former partner, he asked me, we were in the grocery store and he was grabbing something. I go, no, we don't buy that brand. So he had to grab a different brand of the same item. And then when he got home and he saw the news and he goes, no wonder you wouldn't let me buy that brand of ketchup. He goes, you don't want any money going to this jerk on TV. I go, exactly. So just as I'm doing it, I think everybody else needs to do it. And now people in Florida are wondering, they're saying, hey, where's our $700 per residence? But of course, it's not going to happen because Ronnie D has stuff under control. And he has announced, hey, you loot, we shoot. That's the law that's the motto in Florida. Maybe we should start that here in the Chicago area. Every Democrat city, we should. If you are a good elephant, your motto needs to be, you loot, yeah. I wonder if I got a t-shirt printed that and had that printed up. I wonder if, no, I don't think Google would like that. But yes, it's been interesting. So let's send some prayers down for the people down in Joburg who were victims of that building going up in smoke. We're going to find out more and more about what happened on Maui. Because when you look at the lines, it's too coincidental. And just like Squirrel Tribe said yesterday, she said, yeah, they tried this 5 years ago. Well, folks, back in the 90s, Time Daily did a made-for-TV movie about the first time they tried to, somebody put something called to go boom in the tower basement. Yeah. We've got a lot of foreshadowing happening. And we need to wake up. We need to tell people. And it's ironic that, like I said, that Australian television station did a comparison contrast mini doc. It's what I've been saying for a long time. And yeah, they do want to shut those of us up who are old enough to have been able to hear the real deal, the living history. And I have. And I do call out idiots. Totally call out idiots. And it's this morning I woke up and I did remember one of the dreams I had last night. And I am going to have to make some more noise about the synagogue congregation that I was tossed out of because I don't abide by their left-wing protocol, woke behavior of the associate rabbi and the former board president. Well, their new board president hates me because I called her out on her politics also. So, yeah, I think it's time that some things are going to happen over there. And I have to really blow the whistle for people to be aware. Because I do live close enough to a lot of the members. And they keep sending me stuff. They keep sending me emails asking me to do this and to do that. I'm like, hey, you're idiots filed a false police report that was based entirely on hearsay. And in that police report, I saw that if I come onto the property, they're to call and have me arrested for trespassing. And yet I'm getting emails to come and help out and volunteer time. Tell me what's wrong here. If you send me an email, I will tell you exactly which congregation it is. But I am going to, yeah. Tomorrow it's on my agenda to go over and take over all these emails and stuff over to that local police department. I consider it harassment. Entrapment? Yeah, be careful. Well, the associate rabbi is from this town called Oak Park, Illinois. Yeah, it has a lot of Frank Lloyd Wright houses, but for decades, it's been known as left-wing central. All the little communists and socialists used to live there. Well, folks, I've chatted on for half an hour, so, yeah, today is the 31st. Tomorrow is September 1st, which means I'll then be doing videos on the even numbered days in September. So the first video will be Saturday, September 2nd. So yes, today's the 31st. Give myself the day off. So Friday, no video. Saturday, the 2nd, September 2nd. So on the even numbered days is when the videos are going to go up for September. And yeah, still the 2nd and 4th Saturdays of September are the live broadcasts. And on September 23rd, yes, Mystical Fortunes and I are going to be on this channel. So mark your calendars. So everyone have a great evening. I'll be talking to you Saturday. Bye-bye.